No, I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. From the beginning, I'm telling you, it's not that. Okay? Now, learning for me, this time around, is for 24/7 already. Because why? You already have gadgets. Show me, you have your gadgets right now itself. Some of you are already clicking. Alright? So you already have gadgets with you. Look, tablets, laptops, wherever you are. Alright? And normally they say knowledge is in the air. Why? You don't even have to carry pen drive. Just send it through your email or Dropbox. Have you done that before? Yes. As long as there is Wi-Fi or internet connection or your mobile data. I know that's a big question mark. Everywhere comes is the problem of connection, internet connection, Wi-Fi. If you have that, good enough. Okay? Now, the world is actually in the midst of constant change. Now, everybody wants to change the world, but there are some people, some of them out there, they don't want to change themselves and the way they teach. Can you imagine what will happen if they don't change themselves? Or they change the way they teach? Can you imagine that? Student will be snoring. Or students will be actually even nodding. They're going off to sleep. Okay? So, now if you don't like to change, you might not be relevant. They call it irrelevant here. Alright? Now, even in 21st century, John Landau is a producer of Titanic and Avatar. He said, educators in 21st century are at risk of becoming irrelevant. Why? People are full of tech savvy. Some people are already with technology and you're still using. So 21st century educators has to be moving forward. But yes, keep in mind always the pedagogy first. Technology is just facilitating you. But we are advancing. Instead of we are having only PCs, now we can actually move. It's already mobile. What we have? Laptops, smartphones, tablets. We are already mobile. That is mobile. Mobile is not only the phone. Mobile means it's mobile. You can move everywhere. That's mobile. It's exciting to be part of learning revolution happening around us and with new learning paradigms and also the technologies. I'll be introducing to you some of the technology might be useful in your teaching and learning later. You might try and error, but some of you might be a bit demotivated because I've been hearing since yesterday. Some of them telling rural places we don't have internet here. Yes, I know, there's barriers. And believe me, Malaysia was 3 years back, just like what now you're facing in Indonesia. Rural schools do not have internet access. Malaysia was facing the same thing 3 years ago. It's just a matter of time. Where actually they went into the rural schools, they have laboratories, computer labs already. And they have internet access, and every schools now, even rural schools, they have the internet tower for accessible, for students to access the internet. But it takes time. It's not overnight. So I believe Indonesia will also progress. Alright? In that sense, it's just a matter of time. I'm introducing so that you have an idea. If let's say you already have the opportunity, you already have the connection very well, then where are you going to go next? What are you going to do? You have to see how other countries are also developing. What are actually students need? Education today is already globalized and connected world. Now it's becoming smaller. Can you imagine that? It's becoming very small. If I do a WhatsApp call from here to UK, my friend will be able to answer and can see me. Very small. Looks like UK and Malaysia, or UK and Indonesia is very close. It's next door. Alright? Now, whether 21st century teachers, are we actually ready? Are we ready to teach that? That's a big question here. Now, I'll share some of the things that are happening in Malaysia, after that in Indonesia, alright? Now, there are some updates. Now, classroom studies to go digital. Starting from next year in Malaysia, they are going to provide tablets. They're going to allow students to have tablets to school, but not mobile phones. They might chat and so on. So they don't allow mobile phones, but they allow tablets. I think there's a receipt for tablets for only students. So they're going to have that. But for starting, teachers already have their phones. Because my sister is a secondary school teacher, so I know. They already started having phones, rural schools, alright? And she was saying that they're going to get tablets soon to work with the students. And students are also already started asking homeworks. Please give us homework. We want to know, we want to do it at home. To do it online. They already started asking for that. Reshaping teaching with technology. Teachers are already having workshops to reshape them, alright, to work per se, to upskill, alright, to have their skills to be improved, how to use the technology and all. Now, different styles of learning, alright, when you have different styles of learning, there's no one size that can fit all. So you have to really cater something that students can, from a different learning styles, can also learn. If I'm going to just open a book and start teaching, or just use PowerPoint and start talking, what would happen? There are some of them like, fed up. The same thing again, words by words. Isn't it? I always place myself in the student's shoe. That whenever I do presentation, I want myself to be there, seated, not to yawn, alright? But to actually be engaged. And how to engage myself with the audience? I always keep this thing in my mind that, look, I need to keep my audience engaged, that they are connected with what I'm saying, alright? Leaping with technology, this is our Deputy Minister, Education Minister, Dr. Kamalanathan, alright? Now, in Indonesia, alright, this is in Jakarta, if not mistaken. I've taken from Jakarta, the Jakarta Post. Indonesian teachers learn tech tricks from Silicon Valley. Good idea. It's a good move. They are learning. So if you say, no, Indonesia is backward, no. Please look, there are. Okay, some more. Mobile application connects teachers and students. Some places. These are from Indonesian newspapers, alright? So, they're even using. Not anyone can teach and learn in Google Classroom. They have brought something, it's like learning management system. Where you can give assignments, homework, everything can give online. That is Google Classroom. Has anyone tried Google Classroom before? Yes, right? Now, so these are 10 hallmarks that you need to include in the 21st century. You might be going across all this. You have student ownership engagement, is very important. If they don't engage with you, I'm afraid there might not be learning going on. You have to keep them engaged. Okay? Project-based learning, leadership, citizenship, personal responsibility, collaborative learning. You might have groups, but a different way. How is that possible? Cognitive or a mastery of curriculum development of higher order thinking. Yes, that's a main issue as well. That students are not thinking critically. I don't know, is that the same issue here back in Indonesia? That students are lack of critical thinking here? They do. So, community partnership, technology in 21st century, teachable moment, and also learning should be fun. And I did mention yesterday, I think one of the plenary speakers did mention that learning has to be fun. Alright, we'll go on. Now, can we deliver the lesson well? What happened? We have to take into consideration of all these ecosystem. These are elements under ecosystem. We are not going to only focus on teacher, students, pedagogy, curriculum, leadership, quality assessment, recognition, accountability, and so on. There are so many aspects you have to take into account when you plan something. Now, our students. I wonder, are you guys prepared as a student? I know some of them are students, some of them are lecturers, some of them are teachers. Am I right? So, are we actually prepared for that? Students need 7 survival skills nowadays. If you have these skills, you can survive. What is this? First one, critical thinking. I told you just now how important is the critical thinking, right? Then collaboration, agility and adaptability. How can you adapt with the changes? And comes initiative and also entrepreneurialism. Effective oral and written communication, also assessing, analyzing information, curiosity, imagination. So these are 7 skills that you have to know. Alright, it's easy to just read, but how to actually engage our students to do all this in the class? That's a big question as well. New literacies that they need to know, students need to know, is about self-motivated, self-directed. I always remember self-directed. Henriette, I always remember of you. Now, social networking, identity management, privacy maintenance, yes. If you have Facebook, social network, you are getting activated with other websites online, how are you going to manage your privacy? Okay. Managing and curating content. I spoke to one of the colleagues just now. That information is in your hands. Some students, some people, they run after information. I said, don't have to run after information or knowledge. Knowledge will come to you. Be smart. Curating content is the one. That means you select, you organize, you manage. You will send to your email. Each and every time there's an update. So you don't have to go back, oh, what is it? No? Oh, this one. So you will save in your computer. No. So smart. Alright? Can we, the educators, help the students? Do you think we can help? I know it's a one big thing in the mind is only the internet here. Alright, but other than that, I'm sure that you guys can help. You have the motivation, you can do it. Now, educators at 21st century will be thinking, how do I make my course more exciting? Alright, it could be interesting, engaging, fun, and yet effective. How to do that? We're going to look at active learning activities that can be done. We have already changed the shift of paradigm from instructor-centered to student-centered. We are no longer, looking forward for lecture. I'm not saying that lecture method is outdated. No. If you find there are one of the techniques, you have heard of blended learning, you have heard of flipped learning. I'll explain in a while. If you see flipped learning, there is a session when you start the lesson with debriefing session. That's where you engage, again explain. Lecture method doesn't run away, but it's just a very short version of lecture method. They call it debriefing session. So we will start thinking of something which is higher level thinking, not only until knowledge, comprehension, not only that. We should go higher. So, suggestion and looking back into the era, into the development, we should rethink teaching and redesign learning. Alright? We should think about our teaching and also redesign learning. So whether it's suitable or not suitable, whether our students are going to learn this way or not going to learn this way. How are we going to tackle them? Okay? And if you're going to use the same technique and it doesn't work, you're going to get demotivated and also your students. So how are you going to change? You need help. Am I right? Now, look at this video.
Where is it written that the old way is the right way? Where is it written that a traditional education is the only way to get an education? could get your degree, to develop your talent, no matter who you are or where you are? What if there was a different kind of university? One that's changing the rules, that comes to you, that fits in your life, even adapts to how you learn. Where is it written that you can't change your life? That's just the thing. It isn't written anywhere.
Alright, it's just a short clip, but it has a deep meaning. Now, I'm going to take you to the questions being asked. Where is it written that the old way is the right way? Okay, to one extent it's right, one extent no. Okay, another question. Where is it written that traditional education is the only way to get an education? We are changing. Curriculum is changing over time. What we need, we don't need that. It follows the workplace, the skills that students need. We need to prepare them for job market. How to go about. Where is it written that the classes take place only in classroom? You should take them out at times. I would suggest that. But not out from the school, no. If you want to take them for field trip, it's okay, but you have to be careful. Other than that, compound, nice place, library, different places. You just see how they engage. Alright? Now, where is it written that you can't change your life? And I like this about, it's not written anywhere. Only the way how we think. Okay? What we believe. Now, there's a changing scenario in teaching and learning, and there's new paradigms. So what are these new paradigms? And if we don't follow these paradigms, what will happen? Look, what John Davies said. If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. Are we going to do that to our students? No. We want them to learn. Okay? Now, there's another video. This is on learning. Let's watch. There is one message very deep here. We need to teach students how to think instead of what they should do or what they should think. Teachers just facilitate them, but make sure that they think. Don't you spoon feed them. That's not the way. Let them start their learning through discovery. But at the same time, you have to facilitate, you have to go around and see whether they don't go out from the boundary you're supposed to. But yes, that's the only thing. You have to really start off. Let your students, because knowledge is in the air. I always believe there is Papa Google, Mama YouTube. Alright? You can Google anything. They'll help you. So knowledge is everywhere. So why do you want to show in PowerPoint at times and all? Make students work. Let them come up with their understanding, and they explain. That's where we engage what they understand, what they do not understand. So this is already changing. I really hope I'm not a motivator kind of thing, but actually I'm inspiring you to change your thinking, that students should start thinking. Teachers should not only keep giving. Why students, what happens is in actual life, I tell you, even I'm an educator, I'm a teacher. I think all the readings I'm doing, students are just receiving it. That's unfair. I should make them learn. Make sure they go through the right things. That's the only thing that we have to facilitate. Now, let's move on. So, I'm going to go quickly into trends of teaching and learning. Okay, so there are many trends here. And I'm actually a part of the Learning Innovation Circle in Facebook group. So we have all the experts of teaching and learning in Facebook group. So we normally, whatever posts, whatever updates, we normally post to each other, right? So these were the votings to see which is the top trend lately for 2017. So first one is gamification. So those who did game-based learning, I remember that yesterday. You're talking about game-based learning. Second is mobile learning. You already have mobiles with you, right? And then we have flipped learning. It's another version of blended. It's under blended learning. Blended is 50-50, where you have face-to-face and also online learning. But flipped learning is the other way around. You don't give students to go back home and do their homework. No. Bring that homework. That homework, the activity should be done. All collaborative learning, whatever learning should be done in class. And you less down the lecture. And where the lecture point goes, in the form of videos or documents, you give it earlier so they can see, go back home and see how many times they want to see. Once they are prepared, you try to test them whether they have actually read it or not. And nowadays we have tools online to help teachers to see whether the students have actually viewed the videos. How many times they have viewed the videos. When they answered the videos, whether they really understood or not. That's where I'm talking about. Technology helps. At a certain point, it helps, right? So we have big data, personalized learning. Nowadays, individualized learning. You can learn on your own. At home also you can start doing on your own. You can do things. So this is a lot augmented reality, virtual reality, but this is a bit higher scale. I see, higher scale, but it's already here. Micro learning, just now, it's just like curated content. Micro learning, very big bits one like Tutor. Are you familiar with Tutor? Creepy, alright? Tutor. So when you join something under somebody who's an expert, that's where you can see all the updates. Very short version, am I right? So that's what we call micro learning, very small bites of learning, but we learn. E-portfolio, social learning, and OER. OER is the lowest because it's already like old trend a bit. So gamification is the process of using game thinking, that means the design, the system, and game dynamics. What are game dynamics here? This one. We give them rewards, make them learn, but make sure there's a goal. And there's achievement. See, you challenge each other. See whether they can do fast or not. And if they don't get to that point, believe me, they will keep asking, why it went wrong? What it went wrong? There's curiosity to do better the next time. Mobile learning. So I'm just going to run through, but mobile learning you already know, okay? So now, this is a survey done by e-learning market trends. It said that top buyers of mobile learning products and services expected by 2017. One of them are Indonesia. So I'm really hoping. Indonesia is coming out. It's waking up, alright? So, blended learning, I've already told you, face-to-face and also online learning, flipped learning, okay? And I'm going to share with you later on my experience that I have actually flipped my class, and with that innovation actually I won my award, okay? And alright, so this is the flipped learning. This is your traditional classroom. Teacher's role is what? Sage on the stage. And now we have already changed. Teacher's role is just to guide. Can you see the pictures of the students? What are they doing? Instead of just listening to the teacher, and now they're engaging in the activity. Most of the time given in the class is for activity. And that's what we want. Okay? So there are 4 pillars. Flexible environment. You don't have to put pressure on the students. They will know. Give them tasks. They will know how to do. Learning culture, intentional content, and make sure you already have the intention. What content are you expecting them to have? Professional educators. So these are the line, and this is the detail. Alright, flexible environment, you have the space and more time. Lecture time is being cut down. You have debriefing session. Okay? Then you have learning culture, student-centered, scaffolding. They start learning from each other for peers. Prioritize content. So you see which is the content is important. That's how teacher was supposed to facilitate, create. Alright, and also professional educator. Alright, so there are use of interactive web tools here. There are many. And I think the best so far. And now you're talking about Malaysia. Malaysia has its own MOOC. All the universities are also having their own MOOC. And I'm from UPSI. You can see the second row, the first one. So these are public universities. And it's in the ministry's page, website, the MOOC. So augmented and virtual reality, you have this kind of technology that you can wear your glasses and you can imagine that you're walking in the garden, you're touching the real things. It's already started coming in. 3D kind of thing, it's all here.
3D.
Micro learning, I've already told you just now. Learning is on demand, anywhere, tutor. Tick, tick. You have that information with you. So collaboration and social learning, you're good with that. Facebook, I don't have to explain. We have WhatsApp, Facebook and so on, the Instagram. Now, learning analytic is good because why? Do you realize learning analytic helps you? Even help teachers? Whenever you post something in Facebook, let's say for learning for a group, or in a blog, if the teacher has a blog, how to develop yourself, you will see how many views, how many people view, how many people shared. All those numbers, statistical things are analytics. Don't that actually, it gives you an idea which is the topic is more important. If they know the area, okay, so many people are interested in this, I should write, I should do more in this. That's how you start blogging, you help people. So, this is the thing. Can you see the statistical part? This is a very short version, but I'm roughly letting you know this is the statistical part that you can actually help you. Now, I just want you to use your gadget. Alright? What types of technology do you use in your classroom? Now you have your gadgets with you? Alright? Now, just type this URL https todaysmeet.com icon ELT 2017. Are you there? So you will have the question, what types of technology do you use in your class? And use the badges, that's a reward. And each time they answer is tick. It's already been done. Once done, can you see the performance of the students? Here you can know who did not do, who's weak and all. And they have video, they even have PowerPoint. That's why I like Grammarflip. So I have my own slides here, videos they can see. So I'm going to move on. I even use Fox type to see the sentence structures. Alright? And Padlet, yes, Padlet. It's actually whiteboard kind of thing online. You can do anything, just type. It's simpler than Facebook. You can get students to brainstorm ideas, put the ideas there, and you discuss in the classroom. You can do that. Alright? Kahoot. And also, in class, I had noun and verb share it. Mobile phone application. Great. So these are my students. Identify grammar errors, give them documents, ask them to find out. Simple and compound sentences, create stories, start, from one group to another group. It's fun. You will get to know the story will turn out to be something else. Alright, guessing games. Then come to action verbs and so on. Grammar games, adjective, superlative, comparative and all. We have speaking session. I use the wheel decide. Wheel of fortune kind of thing. So I use wheel decide. So I put my student's name, run through. So who is the person to speak? And Kahoot, definitely. So one thing I learned, my students' responses, they are long here. They took things positively. They say they are fully engaged. They could share their ideas and collaborate among themselves. They can get help from the friends. They start scaffolding. They say it's much better than you're talking about lecture method, the old lecture method kind of thing. They say I'll get bored, especially grammar, full of rules. So that's how I changed. And because of that, I'm going to just go forward. Alright, conclusion. As for teachers and instructors, it's encouraged to begin, apply flipped classroom or gamification, any application methodology, bit by bit. Start small. Start with one class first. Then go ahead. And educators should realize the preference of, the latest technology compared to the traditional method and all. And the time for paradigm is here. We need to start to rethink teaching, redesign, learning. And I'm going to come to the end, and this is my last slide, few slides. And this was the one, the innovation that I've done, and I won an award from Pearson ELT Teacher Award for Asia and Oceania region. Alright, and here you go. With that, thank you.